Alright, I'm making another video on that Trailmaster Challenger 150X. Little Chinese side-by-side. Not many videos on this. It's actually a really cool side-by-side for a youth. You can go check out the other video I put on all the features, and it's pretty sweet. We've had about 450 pounds in it and 28 mile an hour, no problem. I've noticed there is not many maintenance videos. There's really no videos on it at all. There's a couple review type videos on it, but we're gonna make some maintenance videos. We just broke the brake in. You're supposed to do it at 10 miles. I'm at 19. Write it down on the back. You know, it talks about your break-in period, what you're supposed to do after 10 miles. Then like the oil is a 10W40 full synthetic. You're gonna do that every 300 miles or every 6 months. Talk about your gearbox oil. I'm gonna make a video on that too. I have to do it also. Supposed to do it at 10 miles for the break-in, but like I said, we're almost at 20. But you're gonna use the AGL synthetic. I'll show you what I ordered, put links to that. I got it all on Amazon. I think it was 19 bucks for 2 quarts of oil and a quart of the gear oil. But it don't take quite 2 quarts of oil, and it don't take a whole quart of gearbox oil either. But you're supposed to do that every 250 miles, and then oil change every 300 miles. But I apologize, we just moved out here. I do not know where my tripod is, and I don't know where my jack is, so I do suggest you don't do this. I actually just drove it on some blocks. Like I said, I'm going to make one on the gearbox oil. You got your drain plug underneath there. Right where you see that blue dot, that's your fill plug for your gearbox oil. Now your motor oil, you're just going to fill it right in your dipstick. Your drain plug. Your drain plug is actually right there. There is no filter. Now on that drain plug, there's going to be a spring and a little filter screen on it. But unless you have a funnel system or some type of board for the oil to run down, when you're draining that oil, it's going to go right on your guard plate for your brake rotor and your chain. So that's going to make a mess. To actually remove this is what I'm doing now. So this guard plate, you got 10mm bolts right here. Then right up against this one, which I actually couldn't get this one out. I had to use a ratchet on top and get the bolt out, and then the nut just fell. But right up against this bar, this one had just enough room, and it was loose enough to just barely start turning it, and then it's finger loose. So just use your finger and kind of wiggle it back and forth till it falls off. We'll go ahead and get that rest of the way off. Then this guard plate's just going to come off. Alright, so if you're watching this, learn from my mistakes. Leave this on. I didn't realize there was holes in the bottom. That oil's just going to run down here. You can drain it right out of like that. This has been a 20-minute job getting this off. Which as you start messing with these, you'll realize nothing is in a good placement. Well, the bolt is right over that chain. There's not enough room to back that bolt out from hitting that chain. So I've been prying and breaking on this bolt forever to get it off, because once I got the bolt all the way out, I wasn't putting it back in. So I'm actually going to leave that bolt off of it and just run the other 3. But yeah, just leave this on. The oil's literally going to drain onto it, run down and drain out of those holes. So anyway, 17mm. Like I said, there is going to be a spring and a little mesh filter screen right here. That's the only oil filter on this thing. There is no oil filter. It says a pre-filter screen. So I don't know what actually good that does at the bottom, unless maybe the oil goes through it. I haven't figured it out yet, but we're gonna find out. Again, I want to apologize because I do not have my tripod. I don't know where it's at, somewhere packed up still, but this should work. Like I said, 17mm. I'm just gonna get this off. Now be careful, because this is a seriously low quality bolt. I can feel the edges just squishing. Already rounding off the head. But so now, don't know how, but there's a screen. Okay, the screen's still in there. I got the spring and the nut. Now hopefully I can get that. Well, the screen just fell in the bucket, so you gotta make sure you clean that screen out. I'm getting a new O-ring every time, or a sealing washer it calls it. It's just an O-ring. I don't know what size or where. I'm gonna talk to the dealer, see if I can get one of those. But yeah, that definitely would have been a lot better if I left the skid plate still on, or the guard plate for the chain. So that's drained out for a while. So you got your nut with a spring and a pre-filter screen. There's no oil filter on it. I really don't know what the deal with this would even be, other than maybe if it stays in place, it would catch the solids that you can drain out, but I really don't get what the point of that would be. Unless somewhere up there it passes through this, but definitely keep that clean. Got a little bit of metal flakes inside of here. I just dipped in the oil and drained it off. Alright, we got the oil. Like I said, for that gearbox oil, you gotta use full synthetic AGL. I got Polaris brand. I'll put a link to that. All this I got from Amazon. As far as the oil, it's 10W40. I got the semi-synthetic Lucas. This stuff is actually pretty cheap. That's from Amazon as well. So it takes 37 ounces. Obviously a quart is 32 ounces, so it's gonna take a little bit of that one. And I wiped off the bottom of the drain plug. That way we can tell if it's gonna be leaking. And you're just gonna fill it straight in the dipstick hole. Obviously we just drained it. We're gonna set that somewhere clean. It doesn't flow in very well as I'm spilling it everywhere outside of that dipstick hole. So you're gonna have to pour it really slow. I'm gonna here check for leaks. Alright, camera's dying, so I can't get it to focus, but I ran around the yard a couple times, let it run for about 2 minutes. The oil's at the top. I guess where I had it on those blocks, I didn't drain all the oil out. I guess there's still some in it, because that was 1 quart. But I'm going to let them run it for about 20 minutes and keep checking on it. And then if it needs more, I'll add it. But it's supposed to take 37 ounces from completely drained. That's it, so hopefully this helps. Like I said, I'll put the links and information on how much oil. Like I said, 37 ounces of 10W40, and then don't take quite a quart of the AGL for the gearbox. But thanks for watching.